Here's Ed with his review of the BMW 525i.
Although BMW's lineup can be confusing, one thing is clear. The 5 Series is currently the best sports luxury sedan on today's market. BMW have always managed to successfully combine sportiness with luxury, and the new 5 Series continues that tradition. Two models are offered, the 535i and the 525i, with engine size and about $7,000 being the major difference between them. The 525 is, in my opinion, the better buy of the two. For well under $50,000, you get one of the most attractive body styles in the industry, plus a drivetrain and suspension system that are second to none. Power is provided by a 2.5-liter inline six-cylinder engine with twin overhead camshafts and 4 valves per cylinder. BMW call this their M50 engine, and it develops 189 horsepower at 5,900 RPM. You can get either a 5-speed manual or a 4-speed automatic transmission with a 525, but I would definitely recommend the 5-speed. Not that there's anything wrong with the Autobox, but if you want to really appreciate this car, you should get the manual gearbox. And price tag for our test car was $48,370. I really can't overstate how well coordinated this car is. The engine behaves like a small block V8 with tremendous low-end pulling power and excellent revving ability. BMW are claiming a 0 to 100 kilometers an hour time of 9.1 seconds, but I think they're being modest. I managed to do it in under 9 seconds more often than not. Fuel consumption is surprisingly competitive, 12.3 liters per 100 kilometers, or 23 miles per gallon in the city, and a thrifty 7.3 liters per 100 kilometers, or 39 miles per gallon on the highway. And I'm glad to see that BMW has finally managed to improve the synchro mesh from first into second. This used to be a problem during cold starts with all their manual transmission models, but not any longer. In fact, the gearbox as a whole feels much smoother and easier to get along with. And unsurprisingly, the 525i comes very well equipped. Standard features include heating and ventilation controls for driver and passenger, power sunroof, heated front seats, and a drop-down toolkit, among other things. You even get a ski bag thrown into the bargain. Naturally, four-wheel disc anti-locking brakes are standard equipment, as are front and rear anti-roll bars and cast alloy wheels. Driving this car is a real pleasure, both because you know it looks good and provides responsive, sophisticated performance. The interior may be a little on the Spartan side, but that suits me. I've never been a big fan of overdone interiors anyway. If I have any criticism of the 525i, it's that some of the interior controls are a little hard to get at, particularly the heated seat buttons, which are hidden underneath the armrests, which are also difficult to raise and lower. Unless you press this button on the end of the armrest, it won't move, and this can be very difficult when underway. And the usual BMW idiosyncrasy of power windows that may be the slowest in the business is a bit of a problem. But the rest of the car more than compensates for these relatively trivial drawbacks. No other car maker offers quite the same mixture of European performance and prestige as BMW, and the 525 is a bargain. There aren't too many rivals in this market segment to choose from. Both the Saab 9000 and Volvo 940 series are serious contenders, as is the Mercedes 190e, Acura Legend sedan, and maybe even BMW's own 535i. This could be the perfect sedan, Tony.
Well, I think you're right, Teddy. I think it's a little expensive and the power windows are a bit slow, but otherwise the dynamics of the car are just sensational. It runs so well, it looks great, the quality's unmatched. It probably is the ultimate sports sedan.
I don't agree with you about the price. I think let's say $49,000 is quite reasonable for this car. When you think about what you're getting one of the most prestigious cars on the road, and you're getting a car that will easily beat anything in this price range in terms of all-round performance. There are some faster ones, but not any that have the same all-round versatility as the 525.
Well, that's true. Maybe I'm being a little bit unfair and scratching for things to say that I don't like about the car, because there isn't much, and I admit that the company BMW did in fact drop the prices last year, because of the fact that the prices of many other products were getting so competitive, particularly Lexus and Infiniti. So maybe it is a good buy. It's certainly so beautifully made. It's
I don't see how they're making any money on this car, because this, in my opinion, I never say this, but this is a $55,000, $60,000 car. I think they could sell this thing for 55 grand and get away with it. The fact that you can get it for under 50 to me is a tremendous bargain. The engine compartment, if you open the hood and look at the engine, it's like somebody sat down on a drawing board and redesigned the engine and said, make it a work of art.
Yeah,
you know?
It's the sort of thing, you really want to park this car in your living room and leave the hood open, so every time you went for a coffee you'd take a look at it. It's so beautiful to look at. And I mean, the car is such a pleasure to be in, and I've said this before, but everybody who's buying any kind of car should somehow get to try one of these, and they would forever be changed, their attitudes towards any other car. You'd never sit in a Cutlass again.
Right.
And think it
Well,
was
I was going to throw in, especially the executives at General Motors. I mean, they should be driving this car. Never mind about Cadillacs and Buicks.
Well,
and
one hopes that they do, because the car is so well conceived. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, everything is so right about it. It's just a beautiful car. The only car that I'd probably like better would be the M5.
That's right. Well, we have to cut off now to red light, green light. What don't we like? Interior control access is not that great, especially for the heated seat controls, and the power windows are slow. On the other hand, styling, well, look at it. It's beautiful. Drivetrain, the best in the business. Performance, excellent. Features, excellent. Excellent car. How many times have I used that word? Driving dollar value, full tank, needless to say.
Well done.